So hello everyone and welcome to this webinar. I'm Ashutosh Rastogi. I'm part of the product management team analytics at Bangalore. What I would be taking you through is the 1.30 what's new. So let's start with our SAP HANA improvements. So with 130 you would see that we would support HANA OLAP connections defined in BI platform. So far in 129, you were able to connect to the HANA systems directly. However, from a trusted data discovery scenario perspective, now you would be able to use the defined connections, OLAP connections in BI platform and connect to that. And with that support, we would also bring in the support for scheduling for HANA offline documents. And this would be to the destination, to the type, document type of LUMS. And these connections would support the definition of the user password in the connection or the configuration, SAML or Kerberos SSO configurations. The improved support on the multi-database containers is there. So we have made available an option to connect to MDC ports by specifying the server and the port for the HANA systems. So 130 also comes with the SAP HANA SPS 11 release in support. And with that, let's move to a quick demo. So I can go to, I'll go to SAP Lumira. I'll start with a new workflow, and I would go for a download from SAP HANA. So previously we had option for direct connection only, but now you would have this option of going for a direct connection or via BI platform. You can choose an SAP BI connection, say connect, and this will list you all the different HANA OLAP connections and the cubes there. Then what you can do is I will simply select one of the connection and go ahead. Since I've not configured any username password for the system, or it's also not configured for SAML, I'm prompted for username password. I can simply connect to this. And this should list me all the different info providers available here. I can select one of them and go ahead. And after that, it's almost the same workflow that you had for the direct connections. So you will be able to select the measures and dimensions and then acquire with that. Similarly, the same option is also available for HANA Online. If you go to HANA Online, and you can see the same option here. So these documents, once created for the from the BIP-based OLAP connections, they can also be scheduled in BI platform, and this support is available for documents created with BI managed connections only. There are certain enhancements in BW area. So what we have started supporting is filtering data while acquiring from BW source. So you would be provided an option on the dimensions level, and you can select a filter there, and you will be able to choose the values that you want to bring in from your BW system. There is a support for date format defined in BW. So for a user, he might have defined a certain date format in his profile, and when acquiring from SAP BW, the same date format would be respected while acquisition. There is a support for SAP BW 7.5 with 130, and that would be for all SPs. So I have already created a document with the BW source, and you can see that I have acquired certain data from here. So you can see the order date format that I have here. I will simply go to my user profile and change the date format from dot format to the hyphen format. I can go ahead and save that. So now when I go back to the edit data source option, and reacquire the data, this format is expected to be the same as what I've defined in my profile. In the meantime, I will also show you that you can see that there are the filters available on the dimensions. You can select the filter. Suppose I want to bring in only the, say, gloves, helmets, and locks, and I say done. So there's a visual indication here that certain filters are selected, and you can go ahead with that. So this is acquiring the data from the BW connection, and so what I see is only 3 product types getting listed, and you can see that the order date has changed. So now with 130 we have a connectivity option for SAP Suite for HANA, and this connection would be, you would be able to acquire data from CDS views via transient BIX queries that are available on BW Analytic Engine on S4 HANA. From the visualization and analysis perspective, there is a custom color palette support for the categorical palettes and the qualitative palettes. So what you would be able to do in Lumira Desktop is you would be able to choose colors. If you're not okay with the predefined palettes that are there and you want to use your corporate palettes, then you can go ahead and choose the customized dimension palette option, and then you would be provided an option to choose the specific colors that you want to have in your palette. Similar is the case of quantitative palettes, where you would be able to choose the thresholds and you would be able to choose the gradient that you would like to have. So what I would do is I would simply pull in product item and total sales against, say, different years, and say filter on this specific data. And I do not like this palette. I can go ahead and say I want to customize my palette. I would be able to choose the specific colors. I want red here, I want yellow, and then I want green. I want to also save this as palette, a new palette. And done. So once I apply OK, these new colors are applied to my visualization. And you can see that if I go to a different chart, like, sorry, this one, the palettes are, the new palette is also available to me. So this is a, you would be able to define these palettes in Lumira Desktop and reuse them. So for a heat map, I can actually showcase how you would be able to define your measure palettes. So this is one of the custom palettes that I have defined. If you want to apply a gradient, so the default palettes that are available to you would be these. So you can choose a diverging palette with the specific colors, or you can choose existing sequential palettes. If you're not okay with that, what you can go ahead and do is you can select a particular cell, and you can see that apply color gradient is by default checked. So you would be able to say I want a specific color of green, and the gradient is generated for you. You would be able to change the thresholds, and the gradients are there. If you want a different color at this end, you would be able to select it here, and you can see that there is a change from green towards blue. So that's the different kind of gradient divergence that you may want to create in the palette. You can again save this as your quantitative palette and apply OK, and you would be able to see the palette applied to your chart. So there are two new visualizations that have been added from the time series analysis perspective. So you would be able to have the scatter plot for daytime series and a bubble plot for daytime series. With 1.30 you have the new section for time series charts where you can have a line chart or scatter plot or a bubble chart. So, and you would be able to create a bubble plot across time dimension. So I have used the product family and product class as color and shape, and the total sales on the y-axis. However, in case of bubble, I would also be able to add the plant sales on the size axis. So that would allow me to have these two new charts. From the enterprise readiness perspective, there have been certain performance improvements while opening the document. We had heard from customers that they have been experiencing bad performance on the Lumira server for BIP side, and there have been investments in this direction, and we have improved the performance for now with around 15 to 20%, and you would expect more. You can expect more improvements with 131. And there are improvements in the authentication area. So for the new universes, the credential mapping has not been supported so far with 129, and this support is coming with 130. For now, you would be able to connect to your secured Hadoop clusters via the Kerberos protocol. And while you need to use your user password as authentication for login to that, but the protocol that would be used while connecting to Hadoop would be Kerberos. So, and there is an improvement in the clustering support. For instance, you have in your organization a particular document that has been used very often, and many people edit or view the document. So, with 129. There had been cases where the edit workflows for the document would create a workspace on the same cluster. However, this has improved with 130, and this would be based on load balancing logic. Also, there is a improved stability for the Lumira server. With 130, we would support BI platform 4.1, SP5, SP6, and SP7. If you remember, for 1.29, SP4 support was also there, which is dropped with 130. And 4.2 SP2 support is there only with 130. Share room has been removed in 130, and most of its capabilities were already there in the product in different areas, and which are not there has been moved to different sections. From open document, there has been enhancements in the open document link support. So with 130, we support prompts for and variables for SAP HANA, SAP BW, and universe sources. You would be able to define open document links with these parameters and their values defined. There is a support for part mode, so, which means that you would be able to open a specific story within a document. And when we say part mode, you would not be able to navigate to the other stories. And if it is a page, you would be landing on that specific page of that story, and you will not be able to navigate to other pages of the story or even other stories. And then there is a support for bookmarks. So bookmark is the functionality that we launched with 129, and with this 130, you would be able to use bookmarks as one of your parameters in open document links and directly land with the bookmark applied on the document. So there was always the case that open document links in Lumira would open document in a new window. Now we have a S window parameter that would allow you to have this behavior, to control this behavior. You want to in the same window or in a different window can be controlled. So I have a country data document that I would open up. And in the meantime, there are different open document links that I have created. So the first one is basically a default launch of the document. And the second one takes a prompt parameter for the country Australia. And the third one is basically a part mode report open document link with a specific page number and a specific story. So in this document, if you see that there are two stories, and first story has one cross tab which shows the USA data and different cities. the second story show the same information as part of a bar chart. So I would go ahead and launch a open document link with Australia as a parameter. Excuse me. So this, when we supply the parameters, this would be refreshing the documents, and in case, in this case it is BW, so it should be prompting me for the username password. So I would be able to provide the username password, and if STS configuration is available for your connection, BW managed connection, you will not be prompted for the authentication, and it will directly go through. So once correct credentials have been provided, it would be refreshing your document to retrieve the data while by applying the prompts. And now you would be able to see that I have got the Australia data instead of the US data. And for the second link, sorry. So this will launch me to a specific page in the story with a path mode, and that will not, so I would not be able to change the story. You can see that there is no drop down available, and also I cannot do any document level activities, which is refresh in other scenarios. And also you can collapse these bars, and you would also not be able to navigate to other pages in case they are there. Okay, so with 1.30 we have the improvements on the OS support side. This is the first time we are supporting the Linux OS. So the first flavor that is that will be supported with 1.30 is the SUSE 12. You can expect improvements in this support in future releases, and that would be the different versions of SUSE and the Red Hat. However, I would like to make a note here that you would still be able to use the heterogeneous deployment mechanism, and with that, Lumira server would be supported on both Windows Server and the SUSE 12. We have improved web application server support. So with this 1.30, we have IBM WebSphere, SAP NetWeaver, and Oracle WebLogic also included apart from Tomcat. And these servers are specifically supported for Linux OS, and except for NetWeaver, which is supported for both Windows and Linux.
A question from EMC: is HANA JDBC supported?
So we have a HANA JDBC driver available that you can use to connect to HANA.
Does Lumira work with HANA SSO?
Yes, Lumira has HANA SSO support. If your question is from Lumira server perspective, that would be a SAML single sign-on. And from a Lumira desktop perspective, there's plan to have Kerberos support for HANA single sign-on.
Does 1.30 work with SAP BI Business Objects 4.2 and 4.1?
Yes, 1.30 is planned to be supported for SAP BI Business Objects 4.2 SP2. And yes, it is supported for 4.1 with SP5, SP6, and SP7.
Question from Srinivas: does Lumira 1.30 connect to both UDT and IDT universes?
So there has been no change in the universe support except from the support for credential mapping. So the support is primarily for the UNIX.
Question from Murali Krishnan: can we schedule freehand SQL data source Lumira document in 1.30?
Scheduling support is primarily there for all the sources that have managed connections. So that support would be for HANA Offline, SAP BW, and the universes.
Question from Bisham: are there any plans for multi-source universe support for Lumira server for BIP?
Definitely there are plans for that. So we would like to plug the gaps that we have with the universe support. We have heard that there are few, definitely, and we would be doing that incrementally.
Question from Sarah Kinmund. Are there plans to flexibly switch between dataset connections in Lumira, i.e. from a dev to prod environment? I know it's possible to switch from HANA online to offline, but it would be good to have more flexibility switching connections without having to rebuild the visuals.
Of course, this is something that has been brought with 130 for BW connections. So with BW connections, you would be able to switch the connections from the connections list. We plan to introduce it for the other sources for which it is not available yet.
Thank you. Question from Nitya. Can we do a drill through from a visualization to a table chart with the filter criteria?
Not possible yet. I understand this is the same scenario with context passing from the visualizations to within a chart to a chart in a same page on a different story. All cases.
Thank you. Question from Jason. When can we publish Lumira to email with PDF attachment rather than LUMS file?
Yes. So today, export to PDF functionality is only available for stories. You cannot publish document to a PDF. So first we want to bring in those capabilities and improve the experience or the exporting to PDF functionality. Once we have that, then we plan to deliver this via emails through scheduling.
Does Lumira 1.30 fix Chrome version issues, because the current Chrome v49 is not supporting a Lumira visualization? Not sure if you're aware of that.
Sure. This issue started coming with the Lumira Chrome, Chrome update version 48, and there has been a patch 129.4 released to fix this issue for Lumira. So you should be already seeing this improvement in 1.9.4, and yes, this is coming with 130 as well.